This poem is entitled The Golden Throne. Common copyright December 24th, Christmas Eve, 2020, by me, Ali Reza Najafabadi. Are you guys ready? This is a major statement. I will now read my poem. The Golden Throne. When Alexander had rose up and marched on to the east, he was glorified as the Western savior at the least. A son of an ambitious man, he came forward with an ambitious plan. Raise your spears and hold steady your shields, and we will drive on forward until our ancient foe will yield. And so was I, who in a much more humble way went west, endeavored in the same way, striving only to achieve what's best. Like Alexander, he didn't conquer only for base pride. No, he only meant to bring his order the same as Cyrus did in glorious stride. He in the same way that might made right, and victory would light a fire that could have warmed even the coldness of the world entire. Alexander came to Iran and conquered it true and justly. True, he burned down the libraries after too much wine had been drunk. But let it be known, Alexander's bones were Iranian when they sunk into his grave, dug and planned by his treasonous lot, where cowards only rest and greed had sought. Remember, Alexander wed and made queen a woman of our own noble line, and here now starts the claim of how Alexander's throne is mine. I of House Taj, a prince of Iran to my core, I claim the throne from even before the Achaemenid lore, and after on through from the Seleucid, Parthian, Sassanid, and more. I am the rightful king of Iran. I have consummated the Magi's call. I know Ahura Mazda, and his being the Father stands tall. Came the Magi with their prophecy of a Savior come. But it's not just my faith in which my claim is done. Let me relate to you now, Alexander came into Persian lands, named himself the new emperor, and not just as the son of his father, no. He named himself the Achaemenid successor, and I honor his claim so. For he became our noble king, and I reject the foul call some of my kin bring, in calling him the accursed one, the scourge from the backwoods Greece. But he was in truth a peer and son to who we call Kurush the Great. He wed our line and produced his heir, and now you'll say, without a careful consideration to bear. Ha ha! But he were murdered before he could be anyone. He was murdered in the cradle, you see. But consider not the views of the base and savage would see. Can you not see how the dead king's murdered son was the right and truthful heir to inherit Alexander's new dawn? Though the boy died, in us his blood flows. In us his blood flows. In ways of genetics only God and angels do know. O Alexander, son of Philip and champion of greater Greece, I glorify and accept your creed, and recognize the kin lines between us, for there is need to know, because Alexander had claimed the throne not as an invader, but as one who came to consummate the promise of Cyrus much later. Alexander may have come to Persia as some fashion of Greek, but tonight his coming truth would render you meek. Alexander in part was murdered for this they called a crime. Alexander became a Persian, our Shah, in due time. We accepted the whole of who Alexander was, and not just stole the glory of his conquest, cause, like those in the West who cried victory, and in silence sought to rewrite his ending in history. So now I'll illustrate, as Alexander chased the sunrise, I chased the sunset. In humble and quiet glory I went west. Not back mine army, or yet the mark of conquest and glory. Though it may end that way, just wait for the climax of my story. As Alexander came and joined anew, the custom and ways of his conquered people grew to be almost native and real in his own heart. And I became an American, a Westerner in my part. No heirs yet born, but my blood flows American, whatever you think. As much as it does Iranian, let the facts sink. I've adopted the ways of my new nation in great haste, and still retain my native pride to no waste. I am the Parthian arrow and Crassus' side. I am the Seleucid hoplite, armored in plate and pride. In equal measure, I am the spear of Alexander, who I acknowledge as my lord and my commander. Yes, yes, I claim the throne of Alexander. Next stanza, don't stop recording. Okay? I'll tell you when to stop, and just cut it off. I claim the throne of the King of Kings and know what burden demands his mandate bring. Not to conquer and brutalize as the Romans did for shallow glory, but always endeavor to write a more humane and civilized story. So Cyrus came to Babylon, and way you'll see I'd come here. He had taken Babylon without one bloody thrust of a single spear. And so I arrived in the west in quiet silence, and hear now my proclamation hence. I am the Hellenistic emperor, if that can make any sense. When my plans and efforts come to their fruition, all will see the glory of my peaceful intuition. So it was the Greek king had become our rightful lord and commander. I have come to the west and make my claim. Before I am dead on earth, all will praise or curse my name. I claim the throne of Kurush and of Alexander. Yield to me, and you'll see that 300 is a lie. You need not kneel before me, just stand and try to join me in charging the devil's keep, and into the kingdom of heaven we shall make the leap. Got it, Mom.